My mother-in-law messing our wedding and our relationship. So fed up with my future mother-in-law. I remember loving my fiance so much before finding out he is momma's boy. Not that anything is wrong with that, but the mother interferes in our life and relationships. She has been crossing the boundaries for years. We have been dating for 5 years and engaged for 1 year. She comes to the house unannounced from another state and stays from 2 weeks to a month. She doesn't like being asked when she is leaving or to give us heads up when she is coming. Her son, DF, says we shouldn't ask her that since it bothers her. But I'd like to know when people are coming to my house to stay 4 days/months SMH. I've been so patient. DF can't make decisions without her consultations. She has to approve it first before he decides anything. We can't even buy our furniture if she doesn't like it. She comes to our home and redecorates everything. At that point I had to talk to my then boyfriend that she can't just come and decorate our house to her liking, and we had a very long talk with him. It's been a little better since then. I have spent so much renovating our house to reflect me and my family, not a 70-year-old woman. She makes sarcastic comments during her stay and controls her son. The main dilemma I'm facing right now is that she is trying to cancel our destination wedding because some of her friends can't make it to that specific destination. I know this because she texted it to my DF and asked him to cancel it. He never told me this. He is just letting me sign more contract and look for wedding attires. I have been planning this wedding for 4 months now, and my fiance was not as involved as I was, but he was helping me with some things for me. I want a destination wedding, not traditional wedding. I also don't even want her friends there, but she invited them, so whatever, I'll let her have that. I have no respect left for her, and I know at some point they will bring up this. But at this point, if that gets brought up, I'm even considering leaving this relationship. I don't even want to be reasonable and try to negotiate things. I'm honestly here for you guys to tell me that I'm not overreacting. LOL, I have been living this life for 3 years and I just learned that he won't change. I should just leave before I say I do. Sorry for the long post. Your husband does not seem to understand that him allowing his mother to walk all over him is damaging your relationship. You need to sit him down and give it to him straight. You gotta tell him that his mom's behavior is completely unacceptable, and by allowing her to act like this, he is putting his mother before his fiance. If he already knows how irked you are by his mother and continues to choose her every time she gives an unwanted opinion on your home, your wedding and your life, or tries to cancel your wedding altogether, then I think it is fairly clear where you stand. You will always be second to his mother. This situation is highly unlikely to improve, especially after he locks you down with marriage. You'll just be the nagging, annoying wife married to his mother and himself, who just can't let mother and son have their happy relationship. Barf. In fact, if you are looking to have children, prepare to have your mother-in-law walk all over you. You've already put up with this for 5 years. Are you sure you want to put up with this for the rest of your life? So, I called off a wedding to a mama's boy because at a certain point it became clear that no matter how many times we discussed it at length, it would always be him standing up for her and not me, even when he assured me he disagreed with her. He didn't want to rock the boat. He is otherwise a great guy and we are still good friends. But as the wedding date grew closer and the plans less abstract, I started having literal night terrors about what the rest of my life was going to be like, and I could not handle the thought of marriage between me and him and her. One nightmare included the future seeming like looking down the barrel of a shotgun. We dated for 6 years, so the sunk cost fallacy was strong, until the realization that he would never stand up for me despite all of the promises to the contrary became stronger. We started dating when I was 26 and he was 33, and she confronted me the first time I met her with the statement, "I know you're sleeping with my son." I was weirded out and asked him about it, and he said that's just how she is and not to get upset. I declined going to church with them on Easter because they are evangelical and I'm a lapsed Catholic atheist, and she told me that it was really hard for her to come to terms with the fact that I was not a Christian and that I'd hopefully come around before our kids needed to be baptized. I asked him about it because he is also an atheist but cares even less about religion and spirituality than I do, but again he told me not to get upset because that's just how she is. Also, I can't have kids because of some medical issue, so even though they were never gonna exist, they sure as hell weren't gonna get baptized in her church. But I was told I had to be more respectful. Even though I was never disrespectful, I just chose not to go to that church without ever calling attention to that fact or criticizing anyone's choices. But it was better not to upset her, according to him, than to risk what might happen if we made our feelings clear. The final straw may have been during a trip to Europe with him and his parents. I brought my laptop along, and my mini vibrator was zipped into the laptop case, which was in my zipped suitcase in our room. While we were out one day and his parents stayed back, she decided to use my laptop without asking, and found the vibrator. When we got back, she indicated that she wanted to discuss my intimate behavior on the trip. I was in my 30s and her son was nearly 40, and it was a discreet, intimate toy that she had to invade my privacy in multiple ways to find. Her son's intimate behavior was not up for discussion or a problem for her, just mine. Again, I was told not to get upset because this is just how she is. There are many more stories and I should have recognized the pattern earlier, but as the wedding plans became concrete, the wedding celebration started to feel more like a death march towards insanity. If you do not think your fiancé will start standing up for you or enforcing boundaries, I encourage you to think long and hard before going through with the wedding or even doing any more planning. It's much easier to eat some deposits than to pay for extensive couples counseling or a divorce. If your gut is telling you it's not right, it is definitely worth exploring that. I'm in a much better relationship now where we stand up for each other and both enforce boundaries with our families. None of this shiz would fly with my current partner. You don't have a mother-in-law problem. You have a fiancé problem. She sounds like a nightmare, but she's not going to change because she has no reason to. Your DF needs an ultimatum. Either he starts taking your side or you're done. And you need to mean it. He sends her home. When she turns up unannounced, he shuts down any itchy comments from her about you. He stops asking her advice on every little thing. If this doesn't happen, get out. He's enabling her, and it's not going to improve without change from him. You say you don't want to be reasonable or negotiate, but the thing is this: if one side is 100% right and one side is 100% wrong, then meeting in the middle is still 50% wrong. There is no reason why she should have a say in your guy's wedding planning or home decorating decisions. There is no need for you to compromise here. If you marry that man, this will be your life. If you have children, it will get 100 times worse. This relationship is only worth perusing if your fiancé has a really strong and sincere intention to set healthy boundaries with his mother, and that doesn't seem to be the case right now. Even if he had these intentions, you shouldn't marry him until the problem is solved, and likewise you shouldn't waste your life on waiting for many years for this to happen. Boundaries are important for all relationships. If you plan on having kids, don't marry him until he changes his ways. She can turn up all she wants unannounced, but he will have to say get a hotel. If he doesn't change, and you had kids, they will have to witness this rubbish. After observing my parents' relationship my dad's parents hated my mum, I vowed to never be in a relationship with someone who wouldn't speak up to their parents. It broke my heart how they treated my mum, and he never stood up to them, mainly his mother. I remember being like 8 or 9 crying and yelling at my dad asking why he doesn't tell his mother to shut the F up. Regardless, if you don't want kids, you both deserve better. I would just be blunt and ask if he thinks it's normal, and if he thinks he mentioned to his mates would they think it's normal. I'm guessing not one person bar him thinks it's okay. I had a similar mother-in-law problem. Mine crossed a lot of boundaries, including flying across the country and showing up at my doorstep, unannounced, with suitcases the day I got home from giving birth. I had a long talk with my husband about boundaries. And we had the same talk when they moved back to our area, and again when we all bought houses within a mile of each other. And it worked. But only because any time I brought up a concern, he was with me. He stood up for me. When she pushed boundaries about our wedding, he spoke with her and told her to back off. It's going to be you and him. That will be your family. Everything else is auxiliary. The two of you make decisions together. No one else gets a say in it. Before you marry this person, you need to be sure that he's actually on your side. If you are leaning on him and trusting him to build that foundation, but instead of leaning on you in return he's leaning on a different direction, everything is going to topple. Talk it out again with your fiancé. If he doesn't see that you are his priority now, then you need to decide if you are okay with always being second. Can you live with her opinions always being more important than yours? Her ideas of how to raise children, which house to buy, which car, or when to start trying for a baby? If he can't choose you to make those decisions with, then he should marry his mom, and you should find a partner who sees you as an equal and not ancillary to the relationship. The problem is that you are the mistress in his relationship with his mother. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. See you all later.